Well, I think character-wise, I think they're the same as every other team. I think the character of the kids are every bit as equally as as the Naval Academy, which is where I came from. I think there's a lot of desire to have success here by the players. It's really, there's a core group of kids, a lot of them from Pennsylvania and New York. They just really, they have a thirst for success, and we knew that interviewing for the job. It's a great place. It could be a hotbed for young men. But the commitment level by the kids who are on the roster it's been exemplary, and I think right now we have the same commitment level as we have anywhere else. Well, I think the biggest thing when you're coaching a football team, like many sports, team sports, is you have to establish your core values. And when you do that, you set the limitations of what your expectations are. That's critically important. It's easier for students to understand one set of values than, say, a coach trying to understand 65. So if we set the bar high and we hold to our standards, I think that invariably brings people together. And human nature, football players, student athletes truly like to be organized and structured. I think it's a God-given innate ability for human beings to want to be within an organized, structured environment. So that's what we've established, and I think the kids have done a marvelous job of establishing that and maintaining it. Yeah, I think there's we had 5 spring practices, so we're able to gauge the existing roster of the kids who are competing. So I had a real good gauge of that, and there's been probably 6 or 7 freshmen who have really showed they're very talented physically and they're smart kids. So the fact that the weight is at 172, I think there's a process. It's a little bit quicker to get a freshman on the field because it's not a year in the weight room where you're redshirted, that type of thing. They come in at 172 or thereabouts, and they have a high school weight training program. They can catch up to the returning roster quicker as players in the development because of the weight issue. Well, I think right now, to be name specific, Adam Hutchison has stepped up to the forefront. He did a really strong job in the spring. His knowledge of the game, he was ahead of the curve with the freshmen coming in. I think his technique-wise, mechanically, has gotten better over the summer, which I'm pleasantly surprised to see. And he's a quiet leader. He's not a leader by word. He's a leader by action. And he's a great young man. He's worked awful hard, and he's clearly earned a starting job. Well, I think there has been leadership from Dylan Flexer, from John Capwell, Mike Busick, the older guys. I think they've done a marvelous job of setting a defensive tempo and a level of expectation. As you know, coaches are on one side of the line, players on the other. And I think there's been a serious commitment. You can sense it in the defense how committed they are to have a high level of expectation how they play. So when things go up and down, they seem to pull the group back up. And that particular group with Kyle Post, certainly that whole group, Brandon Pace, these guys are seasoned veterans, and we have a high level of expectation with their performance this year. Well, I think the biggest thing on the offensive side, I think we have to protect the ball. I think that's the biggest thing. If we have to win the turnover ratio. Defensively, we have to keep plays under 25 yards, keep them to a minimum. No long plays. Win the turnover ratio. Win the clock. And diversify your offense enough so you keep defenses unbalanced, because defenses are either or line up to play against the run or the pass, and we want to diversify enough so we're executing. That's the key thing. So our diversification requires commitment and execution, and that's what we're working at, is diversity. Well, I just think they're great kids. I don't think they're. I think their commitment level, the guys who are here, the seniors, the returners, that group have been exemplary. I just am so pleased with their efforts, and they've done everything we've asked them to do. There's still a learning curve because I'm new, they're new. Going through the first year, there's still a little bit of a few bumps, but it's easily to be overcome. It's very easy to be done. We can get it done there, and we will. So I'm very pleased with the group, and these kids want to win.